Morning, morning. Happy Winning Wednesday. I'm wearing my glasses so I can look a little nerdy for you. Or smart. Anyways, so my computer decided it wanted to update right before I went live. So I'm a little bit late today. However, hi, how are you? So if you saw my email that went out on Monday, I was talking a little bit about life being those highs and lows, that you can get caught into the cycles where you may like achieve something and you feel really good about it, but it doesn't last for very long, and then you're dropping back down into that slump, or um, maybe something really exciting happened and you're really happy about it for like a minute, but your mind doesn't allow you to really resonate at the moment and celebrate your wins. And then you find yourself back into this spiral of negativity. Like, why can't I just be happy, right? And why can't I be happy right now? And I've been going off about this for the past couple weeks about living in the moment. Like we're not sitting in the moment and actually enjoying it and celebrating like the life that is around us, the people that are around us, all the things that we can be really grateful for, like having shelter and having clean water and having food and clothes to put on our backs and the ability to afford all this. We're very much stuck in this cycle of it's not enough. Like I want more and I won't be happy until I get that thing. So this really does us a big disservice because we're constantly living in a state of lack, of scarcity, that we're always going to have to do more or find more, or, you know, it's always something, right? So when and it's generally from something that's happened in the way back past when we were children, where we're programmed with messages like I'm not enough, like perhaps you're going up to go show your mom something really cool, like this drawing that you did, and she didn't pay you attention, or your dad promised that you were going to go do this play date but then ended up not coming home or something like that, when you were supposed to have this event. So you're deciding about yourself at that moment. I'm not enough. I don't deserve attention. I'm unloved. So when you're deciding that, and then you have events that happen after that that further solidifies that belief, and then it becomes a core belief about yourself, a core limiting decision, and you cycle through life not ever thinking that you're enough, not ever thinking that you have enough, not ever thinking that you do enough. And when you actually achieve little goals, little things, you're not celebrating it. So we're essentially solidifying this neural pathway, this highway, that what we are getting is never going to be enough. And so unless we actually turn our thoughts to, feel like the thing that we have is something I can be grateful for, that it's I'm lucky to be alive right now. I'm lucky to have the things that I have, and really recognize that the things that have come your way have been beneficial for you to grow into this person that you are right now. Until you shift your focus that way and start feeding that neural highway, that pathway, or making it into a highway, you're going to continue to resonate in that negative pattern. And if that negative pattern, that highway is so reinforced, and the positive highway is so little and dinky and is not nurtured, and it just becomes this little dirt road, if you're not redirecting enough, then you're going to set goals in your conscious mind, like I want to get this thing in order to achieve the things that I want to do this to be happy, or I feel like this is my big hairy goal that I really want. So until you're shifting your focus, your subconscious mind is just going to sabotage you, or you'll have procrastination, or the feeling like you're hitting a brick wall. No matter how hard you try, you're constantly spinning your wheels and you're never achieving anything. So again, I'm really touting on this, is to bring awareness to your thoughts. Start to really name your thoughts as something that's outside of you, because technically this isn't you. It's not you as your, you know, being. This is not your identity. That you're not Mr. or Mrs. Negativity. That's not who you are. And once you start to change your thoughts as far as naming it as, this is my judge that's saying that I'm not good enough, or this is my inner critic that says that I don't deserve these things, and try to take that pressure, that focus away from it, the weight of your own words sitting on your shoulders, it starts to get a little bit lighter. And as you continue to work through this, it gets a little bit lighter to the point where you're shifting that focus all the way from that negative neural pathway, that negative highway, to the positive highway. And then when you shift to your positive highway, then of course things are a little you can appreciate things more. You can appreciate the where you're at, the life that you have. My hair was a mess, my gosh. So when we talk about energy and energy blocks, so you can have several different kinds of energy blocks. But if you're, let's say you're experiencing like chronic, something repetitive or like chronic, and areas that you feel like there's like stubborn things that just won't go away, like say you've got a money issue, and it's just, no matter what I do, no matter how many classes I take, no matter how much I learn, or how much whatever, like I get a promotion at work, but I have more money coming in, but I still drain my bank account to where I can't hold on to money, or I just constantly rack up more debt. It keeps happening. Or it could even be like toxic friendships or relationships, dysfunctional. You keep attracting people who are draining you, are narcissistic, or they're hurtful, and or they're not ready for like commitment and things like that. So they don't really add value to your life, and you're trying everything to feel better, like even like wellness wise, like if you're constantly trying to eat better, do workouts, but then you find yourself kind of cycling back, like once you're achieving your goals, then you give yourself a treat, and then it ends up to being like preach. It ends up being a couple days of treats and then a week of treats. So like you fall back into the cycle. So, it's not that's not really living, is it? Like you're not living in the now, you're not living in today. You're constantly being beat up in your own mind by like the past hurts that have happened, or what the future is going to hold. And for whatever reason, it's a stubborn issue. You've tried to work at it. It hasn't happened for you. Then the chances are that it's a emotional or an energy block. So when we say energy, like everything leads to energy. Even if it wasn't created by energy, it produces energy. So therefore it can be affected when you change the energy. So if that makes sense. But there's a different way of viewing life. Because if you don't know what's been causing you to feel stuck, what's causing you to experience the things that you don't really want to experience in life, or if you don't know what it is, it's really hard to solve something when you don't know what the issue is. So this is why you need to get to the root of it. Get to the root of things. So when I say getting to the root, like, let's say like one of your symptoms is like you have headaches, like all the time, like migraines or something, and they give you medicine and you take medicine every single day for it. But when you take the medicine every day for as long as you live, you're essentially masking the symptoms of something deeper that's going on. But, you've got to take it if you don't want a migraine, right? So let's say you forget to take it and the migraine kicks in, and then you take it, but then you're having to add this to your life and you don't really know the long-term effects of doing it, how it affects your body, how the natural way of processing things, you just don't know. But you're adding this component in there because you're experiencing this migraine. But what if we took it a step further and we dug a little deeper and asked ourselves, why are we having this migraine? Like, what's causing it? What if you figured it out? I mean, again, so migraines do happen for several different reasons, but maybe it's because you're dehydrated and you're not drinking enough water. Of course, then you can just add more water and perhaps, get off the medication to where you're not having to rely on the medication. Or let's say that, you're a very spiritual person and you are constantly taking in energies from, like, if you're an empath, you're taking energies in from other people and you don't know how to process it and release it. So you're constantly taking in all this energy from all the people around you. And then, you're blocking your third eye because it's absorbing all this stuff from all the other people that are around you. And it's just getting stuck. Or maybe even like you live in an area where there's a lot of like technology, or work in an area with a lot of technology, or maybe you live where there's like energy lines that are right over you, and you might be sensitive to that, and maybe that's causing it. Your body's electrical, and like electrical charge of all these things around us, all these things that like we wear watches and we have cell phones. So not to get too much into that, but maybe you're just really sensitive to that. So you can look at taking medications for the rest of your life. That's fine. But that's the payment you're choosing. And most time people are choosing that because it's the easier route than actually going deep down and looking inside of what might be causing this thing, to playing detective, to figuring it out. But when you're, it doesn't appear anymore when you actually get to the root of it. So if you knew it was because you weren't drinking enough water, then you drink two more glasses a day to resolve it, then that's the solution. Or you take extra steps to deal with the problem, or the problem that's eliminated can be eliminated at the core. If you know you're sensitive to energy, you can, remove yourself from some people or find ways of releasing it, or removing yourself from these, electromagnetic things that are around us constantly. Taking more time to be out in nature, or just like finding a spot that's clear that you can just bathe yourself in, right? So really getting down to the root cause is essentially what the biggest thing is going to be here. Because you could take the medication, you could have this be your life for the rest of your life, spending the money and, essentially being a slave to a medication, not knowing what the possible side effects of it might be. Or you can actually spend the time now to try to get to the root of it, release it so that you don't have to deal with it anymore. But it takes work. And that's one of the things a lot of people are not willing to do, is to actually sit down and get to the root and figure out what's going on. So it's pick your poison essentially. Do you want to do the work now and get rid of it so you're not a slave to something, or do you want to just take the easy route? So I invite you again to, yes, it is a lot of work. For me, it was a lot of work for me, because even when I was going through my journey, I was still getting stuck on a lot of things, because let's just say my subconscious mind was a little bit, or my inner child was a little stubborn and did not want to release some of the stuff. So when I'm going through the work, I started to think, maybe it just doesn't work for me. Like, maybe I'm just so broken that it's just not going to work for me. And then the next time, once I opened up and was like, I'm tired. It's more painful to live in the way that I'm living right now than it is to actually change. Yeah. That our inner childs are pretty stubborn, some of them. But once I actually let go and let it happen, on the next time, then it got a little bit better. And then a little bit better, and then a little bit better, until it finally actually released itself. So it's work. It's constant work. It's not just like a one and done fix, but you got to be willing to actually put in the work to get to those roots. And then when you get to the roots, of course, the roots are going to be cross contextualized across several different areas of your life. This is something that some of my clients are figuring out currently, is that they come to me for a certain thing, and it's actually not about that thing at all. Yeah. And so when you're working on something in one area of life, so say you're working on something in relationships or weight loss, you think it's about that thing, but it's about this root thing that's just been causing issues in every area of life. It could be money, family, relationships, social life, work life, spiritual even. So when you start to get back to that root and you clean it up, then all areas of life start to open up. And that's why this work is important, because I feel like nobody deserves to feel stuck. Nobody needs to, and constantly beat themselves up. Nobody needs to stay in this state of, like, what's the word I'm looking for? I had it, I lost it, but we don't have to sacrifice. We don't have to beat ourselves up. We don't have to live in this constant state of just turmoil. Suffering, that's the word I'm looking for. We don't have to live there. It's not our fault that this came about, that we created this emotion on this memory or this event, especially when we were children. We didn't know any better. We didn't know the world and how it is outside of our own environment. So when this thing imprints itself, then we deserve to release it. We don't have to hold on to it. And if it hurts, let it hurt so that it can be really released. Anyways, so next week, I'm going to be doing another summit, and I think this might be my last one or I might do one more before the end of the year. So, if you have not signed up for it, I'm going to drop the link in the group. Sign up for it, because we got some very cool speakers that are going to be talking. I even have one girl that's coming in to do a human design reading. And all of these tools, you can find the ones that work for you the best, the ones that really light you up, so that you can get down to these root issues, these root causes. So I hope you'll join me. And again, I'll drop the link, but that will be next Wednesday from 10 to 2 Central Time. So I may or may not be doing a live to get prepared for the 4 hours there. But it's all live by Zoom. You have to be signed up in order to get the Zoom link. But I hope to see you all there, because, again, these are always super fun to really get to talk to different kinds of people from different areas of life, there's so much out there. Like, I can't even fathom, like, how many things are out there that I don't even know about yet, since I began my journey. But it's a chance to explore different things, explore different tools, and get your questions answered as well. You can interact with them, and just like pop in the Zoom chat, like what kinds of things you're curious about. So that's always fun. Hope you join me, and I will see you next Wednesday. Bye, guys.